But if some of you don't understand any particular topic, any particular thing, the concept that I'm saying, please ask, okay? Because I know maybe some of you are very good in English, some of you are not so good, so I will try to speak very slowly so you can all understand, yeah? Are you good with me till now? Can you understand me, everybody? Okay, that's perfect. So let's move on. So I made this like a video because my computer doesn't have PowerPoint. So this is a story of which dreams are made of. So I'm really going to talk about dreams because everything that we do in life starts with a desire, a dream to be better, a dream to do something different, a desire to have a new experience. So that is the same dream which brought me here on the other side of the world. As you can see, I am from India. I was born and brought up in India, and this dress that I'm wearing, it's called a sari, and the actual length of this dress, it's 6 meters long, and it's just one piece of cloth which is tied around me. So this is the typical national dress of India, and if you go to India, you will see people on the road, people in the bus, in clothes like this, because over there, you know, we are not yet so westernized, and people, generally Indian women are very traditional, so they always try to wear their native clothes. Of course, sometimes they are not so beautiful as this one, but there are all types. So I'm from India, and I have a really long history, and I'm going to tell my history of how I came to Costa Rica and how today I'm in front of you giving this lecture during my presentation. So you will get the story in bits and pieces, not everything at one go, okay? So far, any questions? No? Okay, so let's move on. So what are the topics that I'm going to cover today? Can you see? Is it? Okay, so I don't know if this light, oh, okay, fine. So first I'm going to do a little introduction about myself. The second topic will be study abroad. So this is about education in another country. It can be United States, it can be United Kingdom, it can be Panama, it can be India or Japan or Singapore. So I will give you an overview of what it takes and how it is to study in another country. The next topic is international travel. So I know that this is a big area for most of you. I know that everybody here someday or the other wants to travel. Am I right? Is there anybody who doesn't even like the idea of traveling? Anybody here? No. So this is a common dream that we all have. We want to travel, but there are lots of factors that stop us. We think, oh, I don't have enough money, or when I retire, I'm going to save a lot of money, and then I will travel the world. Or we think, I don't know, traveling, I'm really scared. I have never been on a plane. How will I go and see another country? You know, I'm afraid of heights. So there are lots of fears for people to travel, and yet it is a dream. But for a lot of people, it remains unmanifested because we are just too afraid, or we don't even know how to start our dreams, or how to get it rolling, that maybe someday we can travel. Okay, so my next topic, I don't know if you know, I recently published my first book. I finished writing this book here. So the next topic is how I became a writer. This book was published last year in September, just after I finished working here at Centro Cultural. I will tell you more about the book in some time. The next topic is how I became a dancer. I'm also a dancer, choreographer, and performer. I perform at different places here in Costa Rica, and I started dancing here. So it started out as a passion, as a hobby, and then it turned into a passion. So I will also tell you about that. And the next topic is the path of passion and purpose. So, you know, it is passion that is inside our hearts, the dreams, the passion that makes us going, right? So I will tell you my path, how I followed this path and came here where I am, and maybe you will be inspired by my story. And lastly, dream, desire, and destiny. So these are very interesting topics. I know that most of you will be interested in knowing more about it, so let's flow. So, introduction, first topic. So, who am I and why should you listen to me? Let's go to the next slide. So, as I already told you, this picture was taken in Venezuela. I was doing a student exchange program there, as I did a student exchange program here, and I was on the rooftop of the house where I was living, and my friend took this picture. So I'm Baisakhi, I'm a world traveler. So I have traveled to nearly 30 countries across 5 continents. I have not just traveled, but I have lived in these countries, in Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, and Central America. North America, I have traveled, but I haven't lived there. But in the other continents, I have lived like 2 years in every continent. So, and I did that while I was a student and I had no money. Let me stress that again. I had no money, just a dream. The dream was to see the world. And that's how today I'm here, a world traveler, and that's, okay, so how I did that, okay, I did a lot of student exchange programs, study abroad programs, which took me from one country to another country, and while I lived in those countries, I traveled to nearby countries, so this is how I've been to so many countries. And I already told you, I just published my first book. I wrote this book during my travels across the world. It's an inner journey. I was looking for answers. I had a lot of questions when I was a little girl, and I didn't understand life. I didn't understand why life had to be so hard, why life was full of struggles and suffering. And this whole travel was like a pilgrimage for me because I was looking for answers. I was looking for magic. I was looking for meaning in life, and I was looking for love. So it was really a very intense period of time in my life, and that's how the story goes. So let's move on. So today I'm mainly going to focus on this topic, study abroad, and first of all, if you want to do anything different in your life, you have to be open to change. Now, we as humans, we always resist change. We are very comfortable in our comfort zones. So, if you want to study in a different country, it's time for a change. I'm not going to focus too much on this particular topic, but I do want to say something about it which probably will define whether you go to another country or not. Now, I know that some people here are interested in studying in another country. It is very important. Now, today in our world, we have like infinite choices. You know, there are so many careers, so many subjects, so many topics, and sometimes we are really lost. We don't know what we want to do, what will make us happy. And sometimes we pick a career because everybody says we have to do it. Because our parents say, oh, you have to study engineering, or you have to study psychology, or you have to be a doctor. And we don't really take the time to go inside our hearts to find out what is it that we really want. And I will tell you what happened to me so you can understand why choosing the right career is so important. So, I was a young student in India. I just finished my high school, which is like 10th grade or 11th grade over here. And then I applied for these scholarships to study in another country. And I got selected for an all-expense-paid trip study program in Singapore. Now, I don't know if you know about Singapore, but it's a really well-developed country like Japan. And the scholarship package was very good because it was 100%. My flights were paid, my education was paid, my accommodation, food, transport, everything was paid. Plus, every month I had $500 Singapore dollars as a bonus, you know, like for my own pleasure. So you can imagine at the age of 17, I was only 17 when I won this scholarship, and I was a kid, and I was really good in my school. I had really good grades, so I won the scholarship, and they choose like 20 to 30 people from India out of millions of students. So I was really lucky, and everybody was so proud of me. I went there, it was great, like the arrangements there, like you really feel privileged to be in another country and to have won a scholarship of such magnitude. But I chose a career that I didn't really like. I studied computer science, informatica. And this is because I was generally good with numbers and computing and stuff like that. And also, at that time, this was in 2002. At that time, computers were just coming around and everybody was doing that course, and my dad really wanted me to do it. So I took it. And then I was really, really miserable with that career because I did not enjoy it. I found it very dry. It was really not for me. Like today you see me, a dancer, a writer. Imagine me sitting in front of a computer 24/7 programming. That's not me. But my scholarship was on that subject. And after my first year, I realized I didn't like it. However, I couldn't leave it. Leaving it would mean paying back all the money that they gave me. And you know, Singapore, they pay in dollars, which is like so much more expensive than the currency in India. So it was not possible for me to leave it. And I felt stuck. Now, I'm not going to go too much into spirituality, but there was something spiritual that happened to me. I hurt my back and I became almost immobilized, you know, in Singapore while I was studying there because I was not happy. And now I know, that time I thought it was just a back pain and it was in my spine. So I was literally, in some ways, you can say paralyzed. And I suffered for 3 years. 3 years I suffered because I was not happy in my chosen career and it impacted everything else that I did in my university. So after those 3 years of suffering, I was almost suicidal. I was really depressed. I didn't like being there in that competitive world. I didn't like programming. I didn't like coding. Until one day, I remember it was a magical healing which happened to me. I made a promise to my heart that I will never do anything in my life that I don't enjoy, no matter how difficult it gets. And within that promise, within that commitment which I made to my heart, I healed overnight. This story is in my book. It's a really magical story how one night I took all, you know, I used to wear this belt around my back because I could not even stand straight. I could not sit in a chair for more than 5 minutes without my back hurting. And I was an athlete, I was a dancer, I was very physically active. So imagine, I was only 20, 21. So imagine someone who is so active physically, suddenly she's like bedridden, and every day I had to do physiotherapy, and each day physiotherapy cost me $50 per day. That time I was just suffering, but the day I decided that I am not going to do anything that I don't enjoy, I am going to ask my heart, what is it? What is my life purpose? What is it that I really, really, really want to do? That day I became free. So this is why it's so important to choose the right career. Don't listen to your parents, don't listen to your teachers. You ask your heart, what is it that you will enjoy the most, and do that. You know, the universe or life has a strange way to make your dreams come true when you make a promise to yourself to follow your dreams. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about some challenges that you can face while you are in another country. It can be in the US, it can be in whatever country you are. Life is not a bed of roses. So these are some of the common challenges, but I will give you some personal experiences so you can connect with them. First, an entirely different reality. Now, you cannot imagine what it means to be in an entirely different reality until you really go and live in another reality. I cannot explain it in words. It is not possible to even start to describe the process. But it doesn't have to be extreme for everybody, but for me it was very extreme. Imagine, I'm from a country like India. Now, you know, India is a developing country. It's like China. Very competitive, but When I went to Singapore, it was, if India is competitive, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, the level of competitiveness of India is 40. In Singapore, it was 99. In Costa Rica, it is 2. No, I'm not saying that in a sense to think, oh no, it's different. It's because generally I have noticed that people here are very laid back, pura vida kind of thing, you know. But I'll tell you a little bit about my book, and I will say it very fast. Like, I wrote this book, as I told you, during my travels across the world. I started writing this when I was in Venezuela, before coming to Costa Rica, and I wrote it over a period of 3 years. And when I was writing it, I never planned it, like I never thought it would become a book. And after 3 years, like my last intercambio was here in Centro Cultural, and when I finished that exchange, I was like, what should I do now? Should I go back to India or what? And suddenly I realized that I have a book, and I kept getting the signs to publish it, and I was very scared. I didn't know anything about publishing, but I always wanted to be an author. And my first book, magicNine, was not even planned, and I did not edit it because it is the description of a true journey. So when I was making the book, I told my publishers that I do not want to edit anything except for minor spelling mistakes and punctuations, because I want to portray the most authentic version of myself, even if people laugh when they read this book. So this book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and it was created because of my passion for life and for travel, whatever. So the rest of my presentation, there is actually a lot more, but maybe we will do it another day. And if you are interested, I have 3 copies here if anybody is interested in getting. It costs $30 or 15,000 colones. You can also find it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. It's all over the world. So thank you very much for listening to me, for being here, and giving me the opportunity to talk to you about my experiences. I really had a great time talking with you, and I hope you did too. I have a gift for you from the Martin Library, and thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you.
This book is called Butterfly in the Sea.
Yeah, she was American. She lived in Costa Rica a lot of time.
Oh, I will show you something. Look at this butterfly here. And it's there is a little butterfly. Okay, this is me. We took this picture in Guanacaste, and there is a little butterfly on my shoulder. It represents Costa Rica because I finished writing this book.
I finished writing this book in Costa Rica, and here on top you can see catatumbos. They are like relámpagos, but no suena, they don't make sound, and they are colorful, which is symbolic of Venezuela, Maracaibo, where I lived. So these 2 symbols are representing the 2 places where I wrote this book. So, anything else? No. Okay, have a great evening and all the best to anybody who wants to go and study abroad.
One more last thing. Before, thank you to all of you for your presence, your patience, and everything. I know some of you been here kind of late, but Education USA is exactly the program that probably helps you to find and pursue the dreams that Baisakhi told you this evening. And for you to know, next 4th of June, here at the Centro Cultural, in this library, we're going to receive some different universities who had different programs for mobility student exchange or doing master's degree and PhD degrees. So more than welcome all of you to come and know more about what our places, universities, and organizations have for you if you want to go outside and study and do study abroad.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Please enjoy this also, and hope to see you, all of you, in my office very soon. Okay? Thank you so much.
Hello, Baisakhi.
You are the Indian?
I can see you.
What's your name?
What?
Varma? And you live here?
Very big.
Wow. I have
It's for the reason again. It's here in 7 days.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I have
Your parents are still in Calcutta also?
Yeah, actually, before my parents lived in Delhi, we were
Oh,
living
I
in
see.
Delhi.
Oh, Delhi. You are a commercial employee.
Yes, but now that all of us have left home, so we are three, like my brother and sister, so we grew up in Calcutta.
Write down on this.
Okay.
I'll write down mine. Which is the best way to ask them? We can ask them.
Sí, son más. Pero podemos hacer algo para la gente. Entonces, ahí hice una presentación del libro y se acabó cuando estaba llamando aquí y luego no fui a poner, a ver si. La dueña de mi casa trabaja aquí por San Pedro Norte. No